hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And I'm going to start off with the very first topic, as I promised. I'm going to play you a clip that really, I'm not really a fan of this person, but it touched my soul. What happened to this person really touched my soul so much, and I felt sorry for this person, because imagine you're a parent, you work so hard, you spend so many years doing the same thing, trying to be the best at that, or at least being highly recognized for it, making a lot of money to not just make a good life for yourself, but also make a good life for your kid. And then you ask your kid a question, and the kid tells you that when you get old, well, you know what? Let's watch this clip together. Let me not give it away. Let's watch this clip together.
You need to find me my own house.
You really are on drugs.
You need to find me an Amex card. You need to find me more clothes. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to build. Like how you said, you're still going up. We can go up together. This doesn't have to be a you thing. It can be a we thing.
And then when I'm older and I have nothing,
nursing home,
and I need you to take care
nursing
of me,
home.
You can't do that.
Nursing
You're not
home.
going to do that.
2 words, Dad.
Nursing home. So you'd put your dad in a nursing home.
Nursing home. Well, what else would I do? Take care of you myself?
How about that? Or put me in your home and have 24-hour nursing assistant.
In my house?
Yeah, why not?
With my kids? And my car? And my husband? And my pool? And my guest room?
I'm just your dad.
Exactly.
The one that made it all possible.
I would love you from a distance, Dad. You know I love you from a distance. We better that way. In my heart, though.
Can we leave now? Can you just say goodbye to the audience? Because I'm done with this.
I had a great...
Amazing. Just before I continue, I'll say what I really think. Imagine how we would have felt if our parents loved us from a distance. How much we would complain about that. But somehow she's okay with it. But man, you need to feel for Stephen A. Smith. I'm not a fan of his. I think people who rage bait for a living, I have certain thoughts about them. I don't like them at all. But that's Stephen A. Smith, a well-known media personality or sports personality, commentator, whatever you want to call him. I call him a rage baiter. And that's him being told by his daughter that, hey, when you get to a certain age, when you get old, I will put you in a nursing home. Yeah. Anyway, so many things to take away from it. First of all, her entitlement. Jesus Christ, that girl's an entitled brat. And yes, I will say it. My home, my this, my that. Okay, that's not even just part of the entitlement. The one that stinks the most is, hey, you need to buy me a house, you need to buy me clothes, you need to buy... Okay, good. I mean, for me, I think there's a certain age that a child will get to that you need to... It's not about it's your parents' responsibility is not about putting a roof over your head anymore. It's about giving you a platform for you to actually thrive, giving you the things you need to thrive. You know, so yeah, obviously live under their roof. Instead of asking your parents to buy a house for you, why not ask them to give you a platform, support you need to be able to start a business or have a career, a successful one that would afford you the money to buy a house and buy all these things for you and look after yourself and have some sort of self-sustenance. But instead, this entitled brat is expecting her dad to do everything for her, and wow, amazing. I look forward to her future. But the second thing and one that bothers me the most is actually the culture. I think for me this just highlights how far away African Americans have. No, sorry, not African Americans, Black Americans. I don't believe they're African Americans. A lot of them do not consider themselves as Africans to start with, so I'm not going to call them African Americans. I would say Black Americans, because I think along the way, they were descended from Africans who got put on the boats and sent as slaves to the Americas and what have you. And I think along the way, the African culture was being bitten and whipped out of their system. Because in Africa, we don't do this sort of thing. We don't discard our elders. No, our elders are actually a very important pillar in our society and in our communities. They are they are the foundation of our village. We always talk about a child being raised by a village. We always talk about community, about collective. That is the African way of doing things. We are usually a collective, even though Western media promotes individualism, but our culture is about collectivism. And it's funny how Black Americans have dumped that culture over the years and picked up the culture of sending their elders to a nursing home to be looked after by strangers. This nursing home thing, because I do a lot of reading. I always spend like about an hour or two a day reading random stuff or watching random documentaries, and I realized that apparently this whole nursing home thing was never really, it wasn't even Western culture stuff. It was just something that was eventually ingrained into culture by the media, by these corporations that own businesses that own nursing homes. As much of, honestly, like everything down to us drinking milk or eating eggs a day, all that stuff. A lot of this so-called culture was actually created by media. Even buying diamond rings, hey, we know about this, the bears and stuff. So the whole nursing home culture was actually created by media, being sponsored by corporations that own these nursing homes. It was never really part of the culture. It was just put into it. And it's funny how Black Americans have actually dumped African culture of keeping the elderly, looking after the elderly in their old age, and having the elderly look after their kids, look after this elder's grandchildren. In the case of Stephen A. Smith, it will be his daughter working and stuff, and Stephen A. Smith and Mrs. Smith, I don't know whether she's called Mrs. A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith and Mrs. A. Smith, helping her to look after the kids while she's away working, rather than going to get an au pair. With that, you have a situation whereby these parents are handing down values that were being handed to them, hopefully good values, because at the end of the day, to me, it makes more sense. It makes more sense arguing. Yes, you might not agree with everything that the way your parents raised you, and yes, I'm sorry, there's some parents that should not even be able to raise kids, but you're better off arguing with a parent that's raising their grandchild than a complete stranger. A complete stranger who you're going to bring into the house. You're going to bring that person to the house. You're going to give that person instruction, and then you're going to put a nanny cam to make sure that person that you're employing, that au pair, that nanny, or that babysitter or whatever, is following your instruction and not doing something else. We've had so many instances of children being abused and what by their nannies and babysitters. Really? Would we have that if we're talking about grandparents looking after that? But yeah, it's just weird how they've really deviated from the culture and all that. Because at the end of the day, the truth is, and then we want us to ask ourselves this question: if we're going to throw aside our elderly, these pillars of society, then what does that say about our society? What does that say about the future of our society? Number two, what does that say about how our kids, will treat us? How do we expect our kids to treat us? Because if we're going to cast out our elderly to the side, our own parents decide when they get old, do you think your kids are going to keep you around when you get old? Think about it. But yeah, speaking about culture, I've just seen a culture. I have to talk about this culture that I feel is starting to get out of hand. I'm going to play this clip. I want you to watch this clip with me, and then we'll talk about it. So here's a clip.
Stop misgendering me!
What's the problem?
Why do you let those kids get away with this? They are not supposed to be here!
If you don't lower your voice, I am going to put handcuffs on you, and I'm going to take you to a Baker facility. Lower your voice.
Try it.
Are you threatening me? Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
Say! Just say the right pronoun!
What do you say? Get down on the ground right now.
No!
You're about to get sprayed.
No!
Get down on the ground right now.
Leave me alone!
I can come in there.
Leave me alone, please!
Okay, are you gonna calm down?
I want to be.
No, it's too late now. It's too late now. He's gonna be taken.
Say!
Stay.
I just want to get away from him. Shane! 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 Stop mistaking me! Just say Shane!
Please step in. Watch your head.
Do not push me.
Wow. Just wow. Look, when you read the Bible, it's a fact. Read the Bible. You will know that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah due to such a certain sexual, one of the reasons rather, was due to certain sexual orientations. Which, looking at, LGBTQ, this whole LGBTQ thing. Oh man, I'm not here to condemn, I'm not here to condemn LGBTQ thing, people or culture, whatever. That's, like I said, between you and your maker. But as one who believes in God, who reads the Bible, I cannot ignore the fact that that was one of the reasons why he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It's there in the Bible. I didn't write it. You get what I'm saying? You can sit here and debate on who wrote it or who wrote the Bible, whatever have you. Facts are facts. Secondly, look, part of my beliefs is also he without fault cast the first stone. I am not perfect, so I'm not going to start saying, oh, this person is bad or this person is that. But I'm going to say that this trans culture has really gotten out of hand. Seriously out of hand. Because I will also quote another thing. One of the major teachings of Jesus Christ, in fact, one of the biggest laws God put on this earth is that we should love thy neighbor as thyself. Meaning that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. If I do not want you shoving your beliefs down my throat, I'm not going to come here and shove my beliefs down your throat. At most, I'm going to come and I'm going to lay out what I think and what I believe in. We can have a nice, gentle, friendly debate about it and what have you. And I'll learn from you and you learn from me. Simple as. You get me? But to force me to agree to how you see things, how you see life, how you see yourself or what have you, I'm sorry, that's completely wrong. And that's one of my biggest problems with the LGBTQ, the whole LGBTQ movement and all. It's really getting out of hand. It's literally leaving us with no choice. Literally forcing us to have no choice than to actually accept them. The same way they're now indoctrinating kids, mentally subjugating kids to believe in the whole thing and all, and teaching them people that are meant to be protected, people that are meant to be protected by society, people that are meant to be nurtured and raised the right way. You're not shoving all this confusion down their throats and telling them that, it's science is not what it used to be anymore. This is the new science. This is the new way. This is the new culture. You're confusing them further. Do you know what it's like growing up as a kid? Do you know what it's like, growing up as a teenager with all those hormones and, confusing yourself? I was a teenager once, and I know how my head used to really spin, having so much, having the body that was producing so much testosterone and not understanding, why am I feeling this way? Why am I this and why am I that? But never was there a part where I doubted my gender or something. It was never that. That was never the case. I fear that if I had grown up as a teenager in this age, I would have not doubted my gender. I don't think I would have doubted my gender, but I would have been more confused than ever. Like, hello, I don't understand. Two men starting a family, two women starting a family. How is this possible? Man and man getting pregnant, woman to woman, having how? It is confusing. And it's a culture that I think we need to just keep to ourselves. Transgenders have lived amongst straight people for a very long time, and we lived in peace because they especially kept their orientation, their beliefs in the closet. And I believe everyone should, whether you're straight, whether you're LGBTQ, keep it. I don't want to be leaving my house to know whether you're straight or you're not straight. I don't want that. Even as a straight person, I don't go about showing people that I'm straight. Keep it. It's between you and your maker. Keep it in the closet. Keep it to yourselves. and let's focus on more important things in this world, like world peace and how to end hunger, and how to move the world forward and create abundance and wealth for everyone, not just a few. Stop dividing the world further, because truth is, this whole transgender thing, to me, is nothing more than distraction for the real division. The real division being the division between the huge divide between the haves and the have-nots. That is the real division in the world, not who's transgender and who's not transgender, who's LGBTQ and who's straight. That is just distraction being pushed and fueled by the media for the advantage of the politicians. That's just the truth. Because at the end of the day, if you continue to let yourselves be divided, hey, guess what? What do you think happens to your society? What do you think happens to your civilization? When you tribalize every single damn thing. But speaking about media, oh Lord have mercy. A certain media personality got themselves into a bit of trouble that came out. I'm looking for this video. Here you go. I'm going to play this video. I want you to watch this video with me. And we'll definitely talk about it. But yeah, watch this video with me.
It's in my phone if you take off the case.
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
Yes.
Hey, Mom, how are you? This is Officer Gomez. Your son's fine, right?
Officer Gomez,
How are you?
This is
Yes,
former
yes.
federal prosecutor.
Okay,
That's
fair
my
enough.
son.
Yeah.
He's a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
He's not a criminal. He has no criminal record, no criminal history. Officer, is that really necessary? This little kid that doesn't do anything. He's a Harvard graduate and a Yale researcher. He teaches geometry to f***ers.
I understand that.
Why would you put something on his record like this?
No, it's...
Can you give him a warning?
I cannot at this point. I have to let these.
I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches fourth grade geometry to his kids. This is not a kid who's ever in trouble. It's an innocent.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is, if you don't know who that is the lady in that video is actually Sonny Hostin, one of the panel members of The View. Yes, she keeps saying former federal prosecutor in the U.S. And the guy in the singlet or vest or white beater, whatever you want to call it, the black whatever piece of clothing, let's put it that way. The black guy in that, that's her son. Apparently, he was allegedly detained or arrested. I don't know which one exactly, but he was allegedly detained or arrested while allegedly trespassing at a train yard in the U.S. Yes, in case you don't know who Sonny Hostin is, I'll say one more time. She's actually a panel member in the View, a left-wing panel member. Now, why am I saying she was caught with her pants down on this? When I say pants down, she was pretty much exposed. Her hypocrisy was exposed. Why do I say so? I want to play you a video from the past. You know why they say that thing? The Game of Thrones say the North doesn't forget. Well, the internet doesn't forget. And I want to play a very nice thing. A very nice video. Just listen to this, or rather, watch this, rather.
I mean, you can't commit so many crimes and think that you are above the law, even if you are the president.
So it really is a celebration of the law. It's a celebration of the law and how it applies to all of us.
Exactly. I'm not going to talk too much about this. She said it's a celebration of the law and how it applies. Once again, let me repeat how it applies to all of us. So, Sonny, are you telling me now that they apply because you're a federal prosecutor, because your son is a Harvard graduate, a Yale researcher that teaches what, science or what to kids, or geometry to kids? Does that now mean that the law doesn't apply to you and your son? Really? Look, I'm just going to keep it 100 I'm not going to dwell too much on this. To me, there are two problems here. The major problem is not really Sonny Hostin. First problem, her followers. Because after this whole thing went down, after this whole thing occurred, there was barely any backlash from her followers. There was barely any backlash from her fans. If we lived in a proper society, she shouldn't have even been able to come to work the next day. Her employers, the corporation, the media, the corporation that employs her, should have called her and said, "Hey, look, Sonny, don't come to work. In fact, you know what? You're off the show for some time because of what you did." But no, she was allowed to walk into the building, get into the studio, spout even more nonsense, and say more silly things about how she's afraid of him, how she fears, and she lives in fear in America and what have you. She says she lives in fear in America, and she talks about how bad the police are and what have you. Does that look like, in that footage, does that look like a woman? In that footage, does it look like a woman who fears the police? Does that look like a woman who thinks the police are bad? That looked like a woman who was almost, pretty much almost dabbing the police, like, "Hey, you know me, I know you." Guess that. When are people going to get? And this is my second point. When are people going to understand the true division? Because she's someone that keeps sowing, keeps fueling this division between the left and the right. Between black people and white people. That's pretty much what that whole view is, what that whole show is about. A bunch of menopausal women cosplaying the haves. A bunch of menopausal women who are members of the have-nots. Of the haves. Cosplaying the have-nots. And telling black people to be scared of white people, and telling liberals to be scared of the conservatives, and telling women to be afraid of men. Really? Does that look like someone who lives that? Definitely not. So when are her fans and the rest of the liberals, and in fact everyone, going to find out what I found out some years ago, and that's the fact that the real division is between the haves and the have-nots. And then the fact that the haves do not want you to know that. The haves do not want the have-nots to know that, because the day the have-nots find out, they will come together and they will look at the haves as an enemy. And then what happens to people like Sonny Hostin? Do you think she'll be able to be earning six figures when that whole hypocrisy, when all those lies get exposed? Do you think she'll be able to live that six figures? She'll be able to earn those six figures? Absolutely not. So wake up, people. Honestly, wake up, people, because if you are supporting people like this, then what does that really say about you? What does that really say about society? And then speaking about, because whether you like it or not, the media and the politicians, they're just the ones who are just continuing to just sow this divide, a divide that is continuously bringing down our society and almost bringing the civilization that we know, the world that we know, to an end, all just so they can divide and conquer and divide and rule. Speaking about politicians and division and and the whole faction thing, I want you to play your clip before I even go into it. I want to play your clip. I want you to watch this clip with me. 1 sec. This is of, yes, hold on. Yeah. I want you to watch this clip. 1 sec. Watch this clip.
I am tired of a set of people on the very far left in the Democratic Party. Ideas that are literally insane, nutty, moronic, dangerous, bigoted, are not progressive, they're regressive, and they should not be in our party.
I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. They say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism.
And this
Okay, so that's, to those two, black guy, that's Van Jones, a well-known liberal commentator. I'm just smiling right now. A known liberal commentator and supporter of the Democratic Party in the US, and that's Bill Maher, another well-known, media personality that's around without that they didn't get caught with his pants down. But the thing with them, what they have in common, if you paid attention, is the fact that they're starting to see what I saw when it came to the Democratic Party, and that's the fact that it's not just a case of division. It's not what it used to be anymore. I've been a lifelong supporter of the Democrats up until when I started seeing things under the Obama administration. I started seeing the lies. I started seeing the vision that was gradually being sown in America. I was gradually and I was just looking. I was like, what is going on? And then when you look at, you had Obama from his first term. People say it was Obama-Biden administration. I'm sorry, it was not Obama-Biden administration. It was a Obama-Hillary administration. I don't want to say Clinton, so you don't mix it up with Bill Clinton. It was a whole Obama-Hillary thing, whole Barack-Hillary thing. Biden was just a guy sitting on the side in his cuckold chair, doing absolutely nothing. I know. Even when Biden took over, to me, that was just Obama and Hillary's third term right there. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I started seeing everything, and I was just like, what's going on? Their policies, and then during the Biden administration, just because they saw trans people, the LGBTQ community, as people that this untapped market. This untapped, it's like they were thinking like corporations, like, oh, there's this untapped market, there's this untapped group of supporters, that we can get into, we can make them believe that we have their best interests at heart, and then we can, they're the minority, and we can expand that minority. And that's what they've been doing since the Biden administration, expanding minorities, expanding and increasing the numbers of LGBT community members, expanding and increasing the number of immigrants, both legal and illegal in America. I'm not against migration, but sensible migration, that is what I'm for. To the point that even they're not even so bothered about black people anymore, about black Americans anymore. They just have someone go twerk for them. And they're like, yeah, no problem. We'll just have someone go twerk for them. And yeah, they're all good. No problem. But here's the thing. Where and when have they really done anything? If you think they love these minorities that much, when or where have they really done anything? Aside from maybe the LGBTQ minorities or communities where they've actually now legalized gay marriage and gay parenting and what have you. Okay, for the black people, what have they really done for black people? Please do not tell me DEI, because DEI really messed up the black community. It made black people lazy. Decades of having to compete against the system, against white folks. It brought out the best in us. It brought out the Michael Jordans in us. But then you had DEI. Look at the NBA. That's all I'm going to say. Look at the NBA and tell me if it's had great basketballers these days. And please do not mention LeBron. Do not tell me, they've been giving black people grants, they've been giving black people loans and what have you. But has Obama ever sat down to really build systems that generated generational wealth amongst black people? They give you loans, but hey, who do you then give the money to? White folks. They give you grants for your education. Who owns the universities and colleges? What they haven't pushed is meaningful ownership of, by the black community. So please do not tell me that these politicians give a shit about you. And then when we talk about the LGBTQ community, and we talked earlier on about trans folks, if they love the trans folks so much, why have they not put laws in place that ensure that trans adults, by the way, I'm not talking about kids, because as far as I'm concerned, anyone below the age of 25 should not be allowed to have sex change. Because by the age of 25, it's scientifically proven that the part of your brain, the cerebral cortex, the part that actually affects your judgment and helps your decision making, that time is fully formed. So if you decide to transform yourself, then you did that with a fully formed brain. That's your problem. But why have they not, if they love trans people so much, why have they not had people or corporations or what have you made it a law that everyone that you need to put trans changing rooms in gyms, or trans toilets in trans toilets in restaurants and what have you. These corporations that go about doing LGBTQ rainbow banners that's a certain month in the year, why don't they have trans bathrooms in their stores? Aha. Think about it. So they don't love you that much, do they? But people aren't focused on that, because all that is just part of the performance. It's all just performance, and it's all performative and not transformative. And then when we want to talk about the division in the party, now you have, I hate the fact, man, it really saddens me, because it's actually being led by the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. They're actually being led by two people that I really wanted to see get into power, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, what on earth is going on? Bernie Sanders, AOC. AOC, if you don't know what I mean, that stands for, that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They're leading DSA, and DSA have almost become, I'm sorry to say, like the Nazi party in Germany. They almost become the German Workers' Party. They say they're not communists. They say they're socialists. But I'm sorry, your ideals are too communist to be socialists. Saying you want the government to own. You want government to own certain key industries and what have you. I could understand if you create a sovereign wealth fund, which what's the name, Donald Trump is doing, which a lot of countries do, by the way. It's not a new thing. There are a lot of countries that have sovereign wealth funds that own things, own a certain percentage of things, but not a majority stake. Never a majority stake. Certain minority stake in certain key industries in the US, and that's understandable. But saying you want to have majority ownership, to me that is wrong. Because when you allow governments own key industries in the US, you give them more power in the economy. And before you know it, it's a case of, we're going to have this for our supporters, and if you don't support us, you can't have access to this. Before you know it, they start owning electrical power stations, and then they're calling the lights off for people that don't support them. Pretty much leaving you with absolutely no option or no choice on who you support. That is communism, ladies and gentlemen. And you can ask people that come from such countries, that fled such countries to America, and what life is like in there. Life there is controlled. It is highly controlled. Is that what you want for America? And it's just a shame that it's being led by Bernie Sanders and AOC, because I don't know, those two, I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to spread any rumors or something. This is just my personal belief. I personally believe that those two have become so drunk on the George Soros and Open Society juice. I mean, these two, I understand that for quite some time the Democratic leadership have been shafting them and keeping them away from power or something. But do you go to that level just because you want power? Because honestly, think about it. If your politicians, if your leaders are ready to make compromises, such compromises that are detrimental to your society, to your country, and its beliefs, the beliefs that it was founded on, if they're ready to make those compromises just to attain power, then what does that say about the future of your country? What does that say about the future of your community? What does that say about the future of your society? What does that say about your future and your kids' future? Man, it's crazy. But look, at the end of the day, we talked in this episode. We talked about a dad being pretty much being given a rude awakening by the child. We talked about a Florida kid, and that's pretty much for me a victim of a culture that's gotten out of hand. We talked about a media personality that so many people trusted that got hypocrisy exposed. We've talked about politicians, or should I say politics. Two personalities that are starting to see the cracks in their party. All this you might think is not related, but to me, I feel they're highly related because they show one thing. They should actually show two things, in fact. That the Number one, the biggest division in the world today is between the haves and the have-nots. I will keep saying that. It's not left versus right. It's not ethnic. It's not religious, like people like the media and the politicians want you to think. It is between the haves and the have-nots. The politicians, the guys in the media, they're all part of it. They're part of the haves, and they don't want you to see the have-nots to see it. Secondly, it just goes to show and really alarms me how these things are happening, because they now start to make me truly believe that civilization, our Western civilization, is gradually crumbling. It's gradually coming to the end. And we that don't live in the West, if we think that it doesn't affect us, if we think that, American civilization, because this is doesn't just happen. It's not just happening in America. It's happening in a lot of Western countries. But we that don't live in the West, if we think that it's not going to affect us, trust me, it will. Because anything that happens in the West will always come to the rest of the world. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do about it? Thank you so much for watching.
God help us all.